probably the newest. On the other hand, I decided to play a horribly condescending elf character, so.
Oh. Well, have fun with that.
It's a lot of fun, because I'm not the only horribly condescending elf in the party.
Are they
We
going
can
to
play
be,
off each other.
Are they going to be horribly condescending to each other?
Nah, just everyone else.
So much damn salt.
Fucking elves.
Oh my god, Roll20, load.
Yeah, it's been loading real slowly lately. It's getting quite annoying. Pretty sure all the shit that's in this module does not help, but I don't know what that is, Rich. I'm sorry.
Scroll side to side.
Oh. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. This is excellent.
Huzzah.
Thank you for bringing it to my attention.
Yeah, it was broken last time we played, and it was quite frustrating to me.
Yeah. Yeah, because the maps for this are so damn big. Yeah. Let's see. Anything else new? Adriel was asking last session about giant phrases and words. I'm finally back to all of my books. So I put up a quick little giant, common to giant phrase book of some things that you might find useful.
Yay! Yay! Woohoo!
Sweet.
If you wanted to try and wow them with your knowledge of giant.
Surprised there's not a line there for "please don't step on me."
I mean, if anybody here speaks German, it would not be very hard to write your own giant sentences.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's like a cross between German and Dutch.
Yeah. Probably you have. Do is the same as it is in German. It's still you.
Yeah, they add an N in there sometimes. Which would probably go to that.
Oh, that's fun. I did not know that.
As I say, there's some definite Dutchness in there.
I'll take your word for it. I do not know how to speak Dutch at all.
Dutch is to German as Australian is to English.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like the one time I went to Amsterdam, but
It's almost German, but just different enough that you're not quite sure they said what you thought they said.
yeah, sounds right. Ilvar, Chris, anything good over the holidays?
I'm here.
You're here? You're still alive.
To say I survived.
That's good. Everybody survived my holidays this year as well, so step up. Baby steps. All right. Does anybody remember what you guys did last session?
Tried to schmooze the hell out of a cloud giant.
Yes, that you did. I know Ox wasn't here. Yeah, you did schmooze the hell out of him. Did anybody?
And then there was the yellow robe guy.
Yes.
And then there was the dragon.
There was.
Which is never a good way to break up a sentence in a D&D story.
Sorry?
And then there was the dragon is never a good end to a chapter in a D&D story.
There was maybe the dragon. You haven't seen it yet.
You see a dragon flying around, then you don't see it, and then you hear this roar from underneath you. Yeah, totally not the dragon.
Obviously a griffin.
Totally.
Well, we know it was a silver dragon, so it's fine.
Yeah, because dragons of all shapes and sizes are always benevolent to people. Or of all metallic colors are always benevolent.
I'm just saying we can bond over the same scales.
Who's gonna say I'm silverish? I'll talk to him.
Yeah, actually, both of you are silver dragonborn sorcerers, aren't you?
I don't remember picking one.
Oh, really?
Ron?
I thought you,
Well,
I thought you said you were
doesn't
bronze or
actually
copper. Son.
matter for any of my class features.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
You don't want to use your nifty breath weapon?
You don't get a breath weapon for being a dragon sorcerer.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, never mind.
You mean the dragonborn breath weapon?
Yeah, I confused those two for a second.
Useful class ability in the game. By far. Or racial ability in the game. By far.
Most
For
are
a few
weak.
levels, at least.
No.
Mostly for murdering NPCs.
Yeah, I mean, you really got to give it to those priests.
They can.
Not wrong.
Priests just cannot
when they
take
get
their
sassy.
fire bursts.
He was sassy. I wanted him to be hot and sassy.
They cannot hold their fire.
So, what was this about a giant last session?
All right. So basically, we got sent on a mission to another town, Brinshandar or something like that. Brinshander. And we're apparently getting there via this cloud, this nice quirky storm, or not storm, cloud giant wizard's tower with a giant hat on it. Wizard hat.
Okay.
I should move you over to the map for it so you can see it. Check out the thing on the right.
Wow. That's
Yep.
That is a thing.
And there, yeah, his name's Zephyros, and he is quite, I don't know, he's kind of like bipolar.
Not so much that. He's definitely holding some information back on us about his place in giant society.
Yeah. I mean,
he's
he
giving us
seems
very vague answers about how things are normally done, but anytime we talk about him in particular, he immediately redirects.
he's fairly quiet and old guy, nice old man, but then you get into something that he doesn't like and he just gets freaking angry.
Yeah, he gets angry fast.
So this relationship is eventually going to end with him trying to eat us. Got it.
We cannot discount the possibility of that.
I'm sorry, it's going to end with a what?
With him trying to eat us.
He's doing something for Lord Naboo. He's basically doing a favor for money to take us here to this place. So as long as we don't try to take it from him, I think it'll probably be okay. But he seems kind of upset over the fact that giants have been messing up shit. And then he said something about he hadn't been able to contact any of the leaders of any of the factions of giants. So that's worrying him.
All the names for those guys are in the list of people you guys have met. Well,
But Inks has just been trying to do the slow sell of gaining his trust. Because we got what, a couple weeks left of travel or something like that.
But it was a total of just under a couple weeks, and we're 3 or 4 days in.
you have another week left with him. As I recall, we fast forwarded through about a week, during which time you guys schmoozed with him and asked him a bunch of questions.
Right. There was two encounters along the way, in addition to our persistent questioning. There was the yellow robe people who came and asked him to make a charitable donation, which upset him that they would even ask.
Because that's the Cloud Giants thing, is that they're into gathering wealth and prestige, basically. And giving that away for free is like a big no-no in their type of Cloud Giantness.
In the ordning.
Yes.
Yeah, that.
Which, to be fair, is fair enough. So we just basically sent the guy on his way, like, no, he doesn't want to talk.
That was one encounter. The other one was a giant was flying around, possibly with people on it. And then we lost sight of it, heard a roar, and the session ended.
Yeah.
A dragon was flying around, not a giant.
Oh, did I misspeak?
You did. It's okay, though.
I'm sure it's fine.
And obviously the whole thing is that dragons and giants don't really get along. So our job is to basically stop this from being a crappy situation.
Stop this madness at once. Basically.
But hey, if a dragon's involved, Adriel and I might be able to defuse this.
All right. That's a pretty good summary of what we've been up to since you were last here. So we left off last session with the flapping of wings coming from beneath the clouds outside of the cloud tower, and with something bursting through the cloud cover below you. And as it comes up right next to the entrance to the cloud tower, you see that it is not, in fact, a dragon. It is, in fact, a man riding a giant vulture who comes flying up next to the tower. He is flanked by a couple of other people in much the same garb. They look to be dressed in long, flowing robes and have darker skin than is common in the north. Hello, the tower! We are looking to speak to the master of the tower. Is he present? They call out into the entrance.
Remind me what Zephyros asked us to do last time after we dealt with someone. He just wants us to basically tell people to go away, or
He doesn't want to talk to him, tell him to go away. That was
Yeah.
what we did. He was happy.
Uh,
So I'd probably step forward, say, state your name and business.
My name is Yami. I am here on behalf of Yansi Bin, the Prince of Elemental Air.
And your business?
To whom am I speaking?
A servant of the master of this tower.
My master has reason to believe that your master would be interested in a return to older, simpler days. He wishes to discuss a way to do so with him and brings an invitation.
Considering this. Hold on.
I'm sure if they leave the invitation, we can deliver to the master and he can get back to them later if he so chooses.
These were not my orders. I was told to deliver it to the master, or not to deliver it at all.
She'll turn to Edril. I suppose we should see whether the master wants to receive it or not, shall we?
Why don't you go find out? We'll make sure they don't make a mess of the place.
Very well. And she'll walk back to where she might be able to see Zephyros from.
The dotted circle in the middle is the hole up to the upper levels.
Okay.
You can shout up through there at the very least.
Alright then, Chaklaba. Zephyros, darling, it seems that there are representatives of one Yansi Bin, they say, the Prince of Elemental Air, who are seeming to be asking you to give you an invitation for something. What shall we do?
What? What? I mean, what? Oh, it isn't the dragon?
Luckily, it does not seem to be the case this time. However, if you are busy, we can send them away for now.
No, I will bring him in. Take his message. Leave it at the bottom of the hole. Please.
We were attempting to, but they seem to be very, very persistent in wanting to speak with you directly.
Tell him he may come in, and he may shout, just as you are.
Very well. She'll give a little curtsy and turn and walk back. The master has allowed you to enter and speak your piece.
This is much appreciated. He enters the tower, dismounts from his giant vulture, and proceeds forward to enter the hole. He looks very confused. Where is the master?
Directly above.
He looks up. Oh, I see. Master of this tower, I bring an invitation to you from the Prince of Elemental Air, Yansi Bin. He reaches within his robes and pulls a letter and holds it out upwards. Will you accept my invitation? In answer, the letter floats upwards towards Zephyros. Once it reaches the railing of the upper floors, Zephyros' hand reaches out and grabs it. There is no further sound that you can hear from there. Did he accept it? Is my task complete?
You will know shortly.
You hear a vaguely affirmative grunt from Zephyrus after a couple of minutes of waiting.
I do believe you received it.
Brilliant, brilliant! We hope to see you again soon, master of this tower. It was an honor to enter. He bows and slowly retreats back to his vulture. Come, come! We must leave and tell the prince of our great achievements here. Fare thee well, adventurers. It was good to meet you. May we cross paths again.
I give him a polite bow.
He bows likewise to you and rides off on his vulture. The other two with him leave below the clouds and back to the earth. If you keep watching them, does anybody want to watch them at all?
Keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
All right. They're heading south from where you are right now.
Well, that was somewhat odd. Has anyone seen such a thing? Like, were they wearing anything that... Does anyone know anything about elemental air? Or Yansi Bin?
Old name. Roll history and or religion. Okay. Rich, you'd know this. Yansi Bin, and you don't know any prince of elemental air, but you do know that there was a prince of evil air named Yansi Bin, who I think the name of them was the Cult of Howling Hatred. Was a cult that he headed up a little while ago that was causing some chaos around the Sword Coast. Their goal was to summon Yansi Bin from his prison in the elemental plane of air and bring him to the prime material plane.
Gonna tell anybody that?
Yeah, do you share the information around?
Yeah, probably, because a bit more in the sense of like, yeah, this probably isn't going to end well.
You couldn't tell us that beforehand, darling. So quickly look up. Are you alright, darling? Towards Zephyros.
Oh yes. It's just a letter from an old acquaintance. Nothing to be afraid of.
Is that so?
Oh, now, children. Don't be too worried. He'll float down and stand in front of you guys for a little bit. I imagine you have questions about who they are? Or some sort of questions. You've been asking them non-stop since you got here.
You must admit it's all very interesting. But yes, I would love to hear what you would know if you're willing to explain.
Your friend. Go ahead. Ask him.
No, it's more of a reference to a Robin Williams skit.
Ah, gotcha. Your friend was more or less correct. They do wish to summon Yan Bin. Gotcha. I do not know if such a thing would be bad or good. I have taken his letter to mull over in these troubled times. Yan Bin has been known to grant boons in the past, after all. It may be that he could give the power to do something about our current mess.
Well, if they call him the sort of a evil heir, it seems like it may not be for good or bad in the sense of one over the other. Or it might be.
He's more the Prince of Loser heir. There was a war millennia ago. The Prince of Loser heir. There was a war millennia ago in the elemental plane of air. Yan Bin lost. And thus, he was declared evil.
Who did he lose to?
Oh, some jumped up elemental. He'd managed to find a primordial somewhere. Gave him the power to fight Yan Bin. I'm sure his name is in one of my books, but I've never met him before. Never had the pleasure.
But then what is this return to older days he was speaking of?
The world was different long ago. A more primal place. You little people hadn't yet arrived, hadn't been created. And so, other beings ruled. The dragons ruled. The elementals ran freely over the prime material plane. And the giants ruled their own city of Astoria, of which I have told you before. Or have I? It's difficult to remember sometimes.
You did speak those tales to us, yes.
Good. Then I don't need to repeat them.
Well, I'm certainly not one to intrude on your business, but I do hope you take care with such invitations. Just to be careful, you know.
Oh, of course. I'm always careful when it comes to such invitations.
I would certainly expect nothing less.
Now, if you've no other questions for me, I shall return to my work. I have certain things I must accomplish this day. If you don't mind.
Yes, of course, darling. Took the light bow.
Thank you, thank you.
We'll simply keep an eye out for any other guests.
Oh, please, please do. Please just try and make sure it's a dragon before you tell me it's a dragon next time. If you don't mind.
Oh, darling, do trust me. When we see a dragon, we definitely let you know. We just expected it to be one now, again. But if we see that particular dragon, we will certainly let you know.
Good. Zephyros floats off back to his second floor. From up above, you can hear a gentle humming, and also hear Zephyros humming to himself as he proceeds with his work.
Quite a popular fellow, is he not?
Indeed. Although it seems that a lot of people are making moves in giant politics these days. Some more competently than others.
So it seems. Let's hope if that dragon shows up again, it's one of the more competent.
Rilix comes up next to you as you say that, rubs on your leg and goes, meow.
Oh, she'll bend down and give him a light pat, light scritches behind the ears. Are you alright there, Relix darling?
Meow.
Oh, why so blue?
Meow. He opens his mouth wide and keeps it there.
Ah, yes, of course, you're hungry. Let's go fetch you something to eat, shall we? She'll go try to find something from her pantry.
There's a lot of meat. There doesn't look like there's any explicitly cat food in Sephiroth's pantries, but there's plenty of meat that you can cut up and use to feed your flying cat.
Alright, let's do that for a bit.
He gleefully chows down on anything you give him. Then he runs over the ox after you're done, starts batting at Ox's leg and listening to the sound it makes. He cocks his head and looks up at Ox and he goes, meow?
Meow.
Meow?
Meow. Meow.
Meow.
Ix is just watching this with a smirk. You are quite the Tressum whisperer, you.
Relix bats your leg a little bit more and then starts flying around the the open air of the tower for a little bit.
It's always good to see an adorable flying cat getting some exercise. He's had quite the couple weeks, hasn't he?
Yeah, people keep dying.
Such is life.
Spoken like a true adventurer.
We're in a flying tower going to deal with some frost giants, of course.
Is there anything else people want to do this afternoon or today?
I just noticed that I have the speak with animals spell. So at some point, I'm going to want to have a conversation with this cat. That's not just meows.
But that's the best way to talk to a cat.
Yeah, that is the best way.
Oh, though, speaking of things that came up, since we're going to deal with frost giants where we're going, Zephyros gave us some information that basically the best way to make some kind of rapport or talk with them is to first kind of basically fight them or like show your strength, because their thing is strength. So everyone basically was looking at the monk for that sort of idea. The rest of us tiny squishy people.
Because I'm like not frail, but
yeah, they like physical strength and they're not very into magic, so you're it. It's either that or potentially getting something for them, like questing or like showing off trophies of things that we've killed, basically. So it's directly fight them is the easiest way.
That's the easier option for us.
Yeah. Or it's get something they want. Show off trophies.
Yeah, so that's the relevant little bit from the Frost Giant Monster Manual.
Do you have enough little nicks in the metal to be battle scars?
I keep myself well polished.
You buff out all the scratches?
Of course.
Just go over with the floor buffer.
With what? I'm curious. Oh, Ox has carpentry tools. I don't know how well those would work for buffing metal, though.
It's close enough.
You're well sanded, so you're technically covered in like little nicks.
I don't know how brute strength and wrestling's gonna go.
I don't think wrestling will be a good idea.
I don't think brute strength's gonna work out either.
I don't think any of us are going to be overly impressive to them in that category. So we may need to go into the woods and kill an owlbear or something. Probably something bigger than that.
Does Zephyros have like a any like mechanical like workshop type stuff, like nuts, bolts, that sort of thing? Screws?
I'm gonna say no.
Damn.
He rides around in a flying tower wearing a wizard hat.
I mean, that's fair.
What are you looking for him for?
Well, I'm a metal man, so I figure if I get a bunch of like metal giant scraps, I could say it was part of like a giant clockwork monster. Seems believable.
You can try in Brian Chandler. You might find enough there.
We'll find an actual giant clock monster.
Town. It's a town with a frost giant problem, correct?
Yes. It is
Alright.
a little people, I guess, non-giant town. It just happens to be near the mountains where frost giants live. And the frost giants have decided that they're going to take exception to Brian Shander being there, apparently.
All at once.
Oh, they're frost giants. What do you expect them to do? Clan?
Trying to think of what else we could bring them that'll look like a trophy. I don't suppose Zephyros has a stool.
I don't think that's going to work on them like it does on goblins.
He does have a giant-sized stool at the table. If you're going that route, though, there's that giant-sized throne that's actually on the map. You can try and take that.
Oh, you better not, given how Zephyros thinks of giving away his things. Or having his things taken.
Bear in mind, these are built for a creature that is 2 size categories larger than you. They are literally larger than you are.
Yeah, we could like camp under his chair.
Yeah, his chair is large sized.
Yeah, I think the chair would be a bit much.
It's also solid stone, so good choice. Zephyros continues to hum from up top.
Might go back to trying to match his things with the lyre.
Make a perform check. You nail it. Zephyros actually sounds as if he's picking up pace a little bit. The humming gets a little bit louder, and the non-him humming gets a little bit louder, and his humming sounds happier a little bit.
My job here is done. But yeah, other than that, it's mostly keeping an eye on things outside and casual banter.
Okay. Alright. Adriel, you said that you wanted to have a conversation with the cat at some point.
Yep. So at some point, when I can get its attention, I'm going to ask him what he's doing here aside from food.
You get his attention pretty easily. When he realizes that you can understand him, he says, "What? Do you think I was just gonna sit around in that town where they're all probably going to die soon? Be left alone like that?"
That's a fair answer.
Besides, you're out traveling the world. I've always wanted to see the world. Being cooped up in that tiny little village wasn't that great. I'm curious. I want to see what the world has to offer for me.
Well, it has this tower.
It does. This tower is very cool. I like it a lot. It just needs more natural light and maybe a couple of pillows. Pillows.
Definitely needs pillows.
I do miss pillows.
I'm wondering why you didn't leave the village earlier if you disliked it so much.
I mean, just because I can fly doesn't mean I can go anywhere. If I don't know where I'm going, I'm dead.
Out of curiosity, does speak with animals just mean like you sound like you're regularly talking, but you can understand them? Because Inks would be very curiously listening into on behalf of the conversation she could understand.
I was kind of
the
figuring
spell
Adriel was
description-
meowing.
Yeah, the spell description does not specify. You can verbally communicate with them. So I'm thinking meowing. Like I'm meowing, but like responding to what she's saying.
So you're hearing Rick's just kind of going meow, 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 meow. And Adriel meowing back. Adriel, give us your best meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
Inks is getting so much damn amusement out of this. That can be a story for a tavern someday. I once saw a paladin have an entire conversation with a Tressum. It was adorable.
Oh. Fun fact. The Tressum actually has a higher intelligence than you do, Adriel.
I'm not surprised. If only because wizard familiar.
It's not even a wizard familiar. It just I think it has a higher intelligence and wisdom than you.
Or wasn't it because, like, weren't they made by wizards, basically? The
Yeah.
species? That makes sense.
Keep in mind that Adriel is a poorly educated elf.
Whereas this is just a very, very intelligent cat.
The cat is very intelligent. That's why he has the best taste to come with us.
I was going to say, coming with us is not a sign of intelligence, Sarah.
Oh, speak for yourself.
Hey, elf. Can I borrow your cape?
Adriel looks at her cape. How much cat hair is in the cape already?
I don't know. Would you have let the Tressum lie on your cape before?
Not for nothing. If you've been around a cat, you don't
Yeah.
have to actually come in contact to put cat hair on.
I know. My girlfriend has a very shitty cat.
Also, prestidigitation.
Yeah,
That's also a thing. But
I will lend the trust in my cape.
You're the best. You're my new favorite. And he just sprawls in that cat-like way all across your cape and just lies there and purrs and eventually falls asleep.
As cats do.
As cats do.
I'll get that favorite spot back as soon as he needs food again.
Maybe. Just because he's smart doesn't mean he isn't easily manipulated. So yeah, you now have a sleepy cat on your cloak.
New titties.
Inks is just grinning from across the room. Care to tell? Because it sounded very interesting.
About what you'd expect. She was bored. It's a boy cat or girl cat?
I believe Relix is a boy.
And is that his real name? Or does he have some other secret?
He's a cat.
Alright.
The real name is
She was
Meowmix.
just bored.
Yeah, Relix's gender isn't actually specified anywhere, so Relix is now a he.
Alright. The response to conversation is about what you'd expect. He was just bored.
Oh, aren't we all at times? Oh, that gave me such good material for the next time I get a tavern. I'll be sure to buy you a drink with it.
And Jill just smiles at that.
I don't know. Isn't this entire setting based on like Acquisitions Inc. type thing? Because they had that thing where the evil person was the cat.
Well, evil cat is a little redundant, so.
You're right. No, I have never seen Acquisitions Incorporated, so no. It is not based on Acquisitions Inc.
Okay, you gotta watch some of them. They're amazing, especially like three.
Three
First three.
series is already lined up from you guys, but I haven't watched yet. It's going on the end of the list. It probably won't get watched anytime soon.
But Chris Perkins.
Right, but I have Cowboy Bebop, and I have Trigun, and I have Critical Role, and I have that pesky thing called School.
Boo.
Cowboy Bebop should definitely be your priority there.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
clearly
fair.
you're going to
Yeah.
have to give something up, and I think it's only obvious which one it should be, given the order of those things that you said.
Absolutely not. School is by far the one I spent the most money on this term.
I don't know, enough anime and it'll turn.
It's a money sink. You're just throwing money away.
I only have a year left. I'm not giving up now. Where is the... Oh, far too much money to think about now. Far too much. Anyways, back to the game. Cat's sleeping. Inks is making fun of Adriel for talking to the cat.
Not making fun. Just having fun.
Just a little.
Um,
Little good-natured teasing.
anything else? Ox, Rich, what are you guys doing?
Just kind of hanging back and observing.
Fair enough.
Meditating, listening to the cat conversation to figure out the appropriate amount of meows and purrs to use when talking to Adriel.
Okay. Good. Yeah, you, by the end of his conversation with Relix, you think you got this meowing thing down. You spent enough time listening. You're confident that next time you go talk to Adriel, you'll be able to speak to him in his native tongue.
This is good.
Purr.
Purr.
You all look the same to me.
Her. Right. Yeah. Okay. If there is nothing else, though, the rest of the day passes mostly without incident. Rilix continues to lie purring on Adriel's cloak. At one point, he rolls over too quickly in his sleep and wakes himself up, but quickly goes back to sleep. Throughout the day, the humming from upstairs grows the non-Zephyros humming from upstairs grows steadily louder, and the Zephyros humming gets steadily quieter and more serious. Actually, you know what? I don't think I ever asked you guys this last time. Are you guys standing watch while you're in the tower at night?
Oh,
At least a
we
little
did
bit.
say that we'd keep an eye out for the dragon and whatnot, so.
I mean, if nothing else, Ox would be, because there's no reason not to.
Right.
And Adriel also does not sleep. The closest she gets to is paying attention to something else.
Right. Okay. So, Adriel and Ox, I guess both, a couple hours after sundown, you hear a loud cry of pain from upstairs, and then a thud, and the tower shakes slightly.
Unfurl the cloak, dumping the cat out. Point upstairs. Cast the spell. I heard a noise. I need you to scout.
Could have woken me up nicely instead of dumping me out.
Move. Last one would have been more of a hiss.
He slowly flies up and checks it out. Yeah. He's the big guy, the blue one. He's like on the ground and not on anything soft. I don't know why he's doing that. It's very weird. Why wouldn't you go to sleep on something soft?
I'll tell Ox that Zephyros has fallen down, and then proceed to wake up the others.
Meow.
Quick weird.
What happened?
Zephyros seems to have fallen.
What? Quickly get up with that.
To figure out how we're going to get up there.
How tall, how high up is the hole?
It's about 100 feet ish. So I think I gave a description of this last time too. So I'm gonna ping a bunch of stuff on the room. So the chair.
You should have gone with my idea.
Hoisting yourself up on one of the chains.
Coffee cups.
Adriel, darling, you can speak with animals now, can't you? Can't you talk to the griffins up there?
If they can hear me.
They're 200 feet up.
Yeah. I don't know. I could probably yell.
Just remember, be respectful.
Oi, bird brains. No, get it.
No, that's more or less an appropriate greeting for them.
Oi, Griffin! Wake up!
Yeah, they have pretty good senses. They might be able to hear you. Oh, is there an intelligence restriction on Speak
I
with
think
Animals?
it's a type restriction.
Okay, well, do they have to be beasts?
Yeah.
Okay. Griffins are actually monstrosities,
Oh,
unfortunately.
That's weird.
Yeah,
this is an odd choice.
it is.
I wouldn't know that ahead of time, so I'm still yelling at him.
They're still intelligent, though, aren't they? Can't they understand common? Something like that?
No.
Oh, not at all?
I'd be thinking of hippogriffs,
Ah, right.
not griffins. The griffin hears what sounds like a very annoying bird cawing at it from the ground floor. Or one of the griffins, at least, hears this and comes down to investigate.
Could possibly go back.
Sorry?
Never mind.
The griffin screeches at you.
I cannot talk to this.
Oh, that's fun. Inks will kind of try to do as Zephyros instructed when he talked about them, and be very, very careful and bow and basically try to make herself apologetic as best as possible, or reverent.
It stamps one of its feet at you, but does not move closer. And it's screeching less loudly. That's probably a good sign, right?
Hopefully.
Not negative?
Just gonna keep in the deep bow and just kind of kind of reach down and out in a way that's like, sorry, please calm down.
The griffin's kind of just looking around, trying to see where that bird was squawking at him from. As long as you remain supplicated, bowing to him, he doesn't appear to react as you come closer to him.
Okay, we'll do that very, very carefully. We are sorry to disturb you, but it seems the Lord of the Tower is in need of some help. So she's basically trying to be like the Griffin Whisperer, but does her best
Roll
to.
nature.
Yeah.
Roll nature real quick.
That's not gonna turn out well, but
Somebody roll nature, please. Everybody roll nature. Okay. You know that griffins are dumb as fuck. They do not understand common. It has no idea what you're saying.
Alright.
It's okay. Neither does Adriel.
Don't suppose anyone has animal handling.
I mean, yeah, you could try and animal handle the griffin. It's down here.
Let's be very, very gentle about it.
I'm wondering, would probably move as slowly yet quickly, calmly yet quickly as possible to the pantry to find some meat to feed it.
Ooh, good idea. It is a griffin. It'll eat basically anything. What kind of meat do you pick for it, though?
Is there poultry?
There is indeed. You're gonna feed
Don't
it
give
to
it-
a bird?
You don't give it poultry.
Yeah, seriously, what?
Basically, like a half cousin. You gotta see if there's any like rodent meat.
I want to give it good meat.
Or like red meat, probably.
Poultry makes the most sense because, well, they usually eat what, horses?
They do indeed.
So
Is there any
red,
horse
so
meat?
red meat. Yeah.
Yeah, you can probably find some horse meat.
I came down looking for an eagle.
Zephyros is a giant. He'll eat anything that moves.
Right. I wish there was hot going. All right, I'll grab some of that and come out and attempt to hand feed the griffin without feeding to the hand.
Okay. The griffin looks curiously at you, sniffs at the food that you're giving it a little bit, snaps the first piece out of your hand very quickly. Finding it to his liking, he quickly eats the rest of them.
Okay. I stay close, but not too close while he eats.
He seems much more mellow after he's finished eating.
Inks would ask Adriel if she'd pass her a little bit of the meat.
I don't think you want to get close to the meat pile that's already out.
Just from the pantry, just some extra.
After it's done eating, though, I'm gonna do the thing where you show your hand to a cat and let it sniff. Like knuckles out.
You're gonna get bit.
Okay.
I hope not.
Yeah, no. It sniffs at your hand. And it pinches lightly at you with the tip of its beak.
Okay.
It hurts. It draws a little bit of blood, but it's far from how much damage it could do to you.
Yeah.
Take one
It's a little bit.
Yeah, just take like 1 point of damage.
Okay. I'm gonna try and pet it and lay on hands myself for 1 point.
Okay. Roll animal handling real quick. With advantage, because you've been feeding it and treating it well.
While she's doing that, Inks might ask Gorilix if he'd be willing to go kind of nudge the giant up there and see if he can wake him. With the promise of some of that food afterwards.
Rilix goes much faster up toward Zephyros than he did for Atriel.
It's a start.
You hear a couple of small meows coming from up above. Adriel, your attempt to pet the griffin succeeds.
Yay!
It seems docile. Seems pretty docile now.
Okay.
It even moves into your pet a little bit.
Okay.
Aw.
Now the hard part, are they trained for riding?
Well, given that the master of the thing could never ride one.
The who could never ride one?
What? I assume Zephyros is probably still too big for a griffin.
Yes.
Yeah.
These are basically Zephyros' cats.
Probably not.
You can try and ride it anyways.
Hold on, let me go into my saving throws here.
You what now?
1 second. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna... Cautiously, not suddenly, but try and move into position to mount up. If it's trained, it'll know what's going on.
Okay. Roll animal handling. Okay. The griffin is not trained, you find out, as you get on it. It does not immediately buck you off.
Right.
But it does basically start heading straight up.
Okay. Roll off.
You roll off?
Actually, no, I will try and hang on.
Okay. Make a quick strength check. Hey!
Damn.
Woohoo!
All right. You stay on the griffin without a problem. As it passes the railings up into Zephyros' room, you can easily drop off the griffin and land.
Yeah, do that. I do that.
Okay. Yeah, I figured. I figured you didn't want to go up to the Erie. So.
Not yet. Not today.
Yeah. You're now up on the second floor next to Zephyros. You can see that Zephyros has indeed fallen over on the ground. In front of, or what looks like it would have been in front of him, is a magic circle set out on the ground.
Okay.
Coming from the back of his head is a dark red liquid that looks like blood.
All right. First thing, divine sense to detect the presence of evil, or it's really celestial, fae, or undead. Celestial fiend or undead.
That's the one. None of those things.
All right. And I will lay on hands on him for 4 points.
Actually, I guess you would detect like a little bit of trace of celestial and or fiend in the circle.
Right.
But beyond that, no.
But trace, not as in an active presence.
No.
So whatever the circle brought in is not here or whatever.
Correct. Yeah, you can lay on hands him. His head wound, closes as you lay on hands on it, but he's still not conscious. As he lies there, and as you move closer to his head, you can hear that he's gibbering something.
Gibbering?
He's gibbering. Casually listening, it doesn't sound like it's anything sensible as you just listen to it casually.
Yeah. It's a problem. Anyway, I'll yell down that he's alive, he's hurt, and he's gibbering quietly.
Well, do what you can. We'll try to make it up there. Can you toss us down a rope or something?
I probably didn't think to grab a rope on the way up.
Yeah, it did go kind of fast. You probably have your pack at least, and whatever.
The rope in the pack, but that would have been on my back just hanging out.
Yeah. So that's 50 feet, probably, right?
50 or 100?
I know all the standard packs have
50.
50 feet. So.
It's not. Well, I think between us, we probably have enough rope. Just a matter of getting it up.
We can put it together and ask Relix to bring it up to you, maybe.
Maybe.
But first, obviously, he gets a little bit of meat for the trying to wake.
Oh, that's much better. Silk rope will be easier for.
He looks up at you approvingly.
I do keep my promises, dear.
Also, while you're in Zephyros's room, you notice a few things while you're here. To your right, next to where Zephyros's sprite is, you notice the navigation orb. It looks to be just a very large, very blue orb. Doesn't seem to be anything outwardly remarkable about it. You notice a giant-sized chest on the far side of the room, and you notice his bed.
All right.
His giant-sized bed.
That's a big bed. I'm not taking a nap now, so.
Probably a good idea.
But I can tell he's not. Physically, he's. I mean, not fine, but he's not getting any worse. Not getting any better.
Correct.
All right, it's stabilized there. I'm mentally wounded, but I'm not sure I have anything to do about that.
I don't believe you do.
Protection from good and evil might have helped if I had it prepared and it was a certain kind of thing.
I'm not sure it helps after you cast.
You get additional saves.
No, that's fair.
Going against possession.
Okay. What is the plan right now, guys?
I'm more on alert to make sure no new threats appear.
Yeah, definitely. That's no good. Because we're basically stuck until he wakes up.
Is the tower still moving?
It is still shaking slightly, yes.
Anyway, has the cat brought the rope up yet?
Yep, he can do that.
Find something to tie it off to, bedpost or whatever.
All right, yeah, the bedposts are, the bedposts would work. For sure. So you guys, you guys can climb up without too much trouble. You see the same scene that Adriel sees.
Oh, goodness, what was he doing up here? Anyone have
Can't
an
tell.
idea about the magic circle?
It was active. It's no longer.
Don't have much in the way of arcana, but...
Try. It's magic.
Of course.
You recognize a little bit of conjuration in it. I think it's conjuration. Let me check the exact spell. It's either conjuration or divination. Never mind, it is divination.
Was he trying to contact people again? Did something backfire?
Zephyros continues to not respond to questions.
Yeah. I'm not sure what can be done. I can't do anything about that.
Fortunately, neither can I. Can only hope he wakes up on his own. But we should still keep an eye out for where we're going, or possibly stop the tower if we can. We don't want to go running into anything because we can't navigate. Which I would say is very strange considering we're so far up in the sky, but considering we've been running into all sorts these days, it's probably not the best idea.
I didn't quite entirely follow his description of how to steer this thing.
I know Inks was watching really intently. I don't know if she's able to do it, but she tried if she could.
The way he explained it was you just kind of put your hand on the orb and you will the tower to go the direction you want.
Of course, then the question is, do we actually know the direction that we want?
Do any of you have a map?
Weren't we giving
I mean, not
something
my
when we went on
inventory.
Saying we're on a quest for the Lord. Didn't we get something like that? Maybe I'm just going insane.
You did indeed. You are correct. I'd forgotten I'd given you that. I'm pretty sure Lord Naboon gave you a map of the Sword Coast. Coincidentally, it looks exactly like that one I have a picture of.
Handy.
Very. So yes, you do have a map. You can make... I don't suppose any of you guys have proficiency in navigational tools.
Nope.
I'm fairly certain that's a thing, because I think I had a character that had that way back. But
Yeah, navigator's tools are a thing, but I don't think any of us have them.
yeah,
I do not.
The only way you get proficiency in that is with the sailor background.
Yeah, Inks would be of the idea that we should probably just pause for now and just float here until he wakes up, unless it takes a really long time.
You have cartography?
For a little while.
Yeah, if you want to do that. No. Yeah. I mean, you can try and work out your position. Yeah, you can try and work out your position and direct you and see which direction you're going, or you can just try and stop the tower.
Inks says that they stop for now until we know what we're doing.
Okay. Rich, maybe someday when you have a high enough deception modifier, I will actually let you try and deceive the universe into letting you have tools.
Deceive reality.
I now have a new goal.
On the other hand, you can also try and deceive. Nah, don't do that. That would be mean.
Yeah, I don't want to deceive them.
I was thinking more deceive me, but don't do that.
Careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd actually kind of wonder how that would work.
Deceiving me? Or deceiving reality?
No, you, because
What's the
that would
difference,
just
really?
be short of lying.
Yeah, it would kind of just be lying. So don't do that. Anyhow. Lesson learned. Moral of the story. Please don't lie to the DM. That's bad. We don't take kindly to bad actual people around here.
That's how rocks fall and everyone dies.
Yes. Yes, it is. Anyhow. You wanted to stop the tower and wait for Zephyros to come back.
Yeah. Just kind of hover here.
I like this plan.
Okay. So you can go up to the orb. You might need a little bit of a boost to actually reach it. It's like 10 feet off the ground.
Stand on the monk.
Stand on.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
It's two adventurers in a trench coat.
You're a Warforged. Do you feel pain?
Not from somebody standing on me.
Fair. I guess in general, that's kind of an interesting question. Do Warforged feel pain?
Oh no. Ask me again when a dragon takes a huge bite out of me.
I will do that.
That sounds like something unfortunate's going to happen to me soon.
Soon.
You gotta be careful what you wish for.
Define soon. Yeah, you can stand on Ox's shoulders, reach up, touch the sphere. Make an intelligence check to see if you can direct the sphere.
So are you doing a drill or was I?
I don't know.
I thought it was Adriel.
Did you?
Adriel wasn't going to try it.
Yeah, whoever wants to try and direct the tower. Did you hear
Who has the highest intelligence here?
Didn't we establish that it was the cat?
I don't know. Does anybody have higher than an 11?
Can't even roll higher than 11.
Yeah.
So I think the answer is yes. It's the cat.
We're all charismatic, we're all sneaky, and the cat is the smart one. Got it.
Oh, hey there.
Hi.
All right. See, there we go.
Yeah, so you You reach up, you touch the orb. The orb feels malleable to your will as you direct your will upon the orb. And as you will it to stop, it does so. Your tower, or Zephyros' tower, is now hanging in midair.
That's better than accidentally running into a cliffside.
It is still slightly shaking, however.
Has it always been shaking like that? Just like in the background, or?
It's been shaking for a little while. You guys have been asleep. You, in particular, have been asleep, so you probably wouldn't have noticed when it started.
What is causing that?
I don't like it.
Can we peek out any windows to see if there's anything on the outside that might be causing it?
You can. As soon as you open one of the windows, you notice that it is very windy outside right now.
Have it close.
You've hit a spot of turbulence, it seems like. Whoops. Which is the reason why you are shaking.
Even better reason to stay put for now. She then smooths her hair back down.
Yeah. Does anybody want to do anything else? I mean, you are all up in Zephyros' room. You can move your tokens up there if you want to.
I'm gonna go ahead and use my last spell slot and cast Detect Magic.
Detect Magic. Okay. Zephyros' circle is glowing with divination magic. It's very obvious that whatever he was doing involved divination. The staff that he carries around is very, very bright, though, with a combination of different magics. The chest that he has in the corner also looks as if it has some sort of magic coming from within it, but the chest itself is not magical.
Okay. What about Zephyros himself? I'm really trying to see if I can see if he's hexed or if there's an active effect on him.
Zephyros does, in fact, have a bit of transmutation magic on himself. You're not sure the purpose of it from a casual glance.
Yeah, no.
And try and work it out, but
Give it a try.
No.
idea.
It's transmutation magic.
Yep.
It's some sort of black art.
Annoyingly, Detect Magic doesn't tell me that. It could hypothetically be like a buff spell he had on himself.
Sorry?
It could hypothetically... Sorry, I'm getting feedback on that. But it could hypothetically be a buff spell he has on himself.
Oh, no. I mean that it's like dark magic, as in like you don't understand what it is.
Yeah.
Not that it's like some sort of curse that's been cast on him.
I can't tell.
No, you cannot tell. You just know it's transmutation, man.
The orb and the circle and the chest and the staff are all magical.
I should probably be more specific given the context. Yeah, you see a bunch of magic.
Okay, I'll point out what's magical, and I'll say there's definitely an effect on him, but I don't know what it is.
He does seem to have quite a lot of secrets, doesn't he? But we can't ask him anything about it until he wakes up. So let's at least make sure that he doesn't hurt himself any further. Is it possible to try and grab the pillow off of this bed? Like, it might be huge, but it's still a pillow.
I feel like dragging a mattress, I imagine.
Yeah, basically.
Uh,
His bed itself is like 10 feet up off the ground, but you can clamber on up into that via the same method you clambered up to the orb. So yes, you can drag the pillow over to him. You might have some trouble lifting his head, though. Make a strength check.
it'll help you, everyone. Let's
If you
keep our
get somebody
benefactor
If
comfortable.
you get somebody else to help you out, then it won't be a problem.
I'll help with the head.
Okay. Yeah, so you can, between the two of you, you can relatively easily lift his head and place it on the pillow.
Okay, now what?
Unfortunately for now, that's my extent of giant medical expertise. But I suppose now we keep watch and wait.
Indeed.
He may just need a night's rest. I'm hoping that's it.
Can we like examine his injury to see how serious it might be? I mean, I know Adriel already patched up a little bit with lay on hands, but
I mean, it's the same kind of injury you would get if, well, maybe not you, but few members of your party would get if you just fallen. If you fell like straight over backwards and knocked your head on something hard.
I mean, that could either be like a bruise or a life-threatening injury, to be fair.
This is fair.
Well, if it was
I mean,
life-threatening, then hopefully Adriel cleared that up.
Yeah, I don't know what lay on hands does for concussions. It doesn't say either way.
Yeah.
Or it could, just like seal the surface wound and then the blood starts swelling inside. And
I mean, you can make
What a ball of
medicine
joy
check
you are.
make a medicine check on the giant to examine him and see if there's hi. Yeah, there's a bit of swelling. Mostly it just seems to be he's gonna have a big goose egg on his head in the morning.
Even better reason to put it under a pillow.
It doesn't look like there's any pressure building up in there.
he's just down for maintenance.
Yeah, basically. He's, probably going to have a little bit of a concussion, but he's already kind of, no need to trepan the poor giant. He's probably going to have a little bit of a concussion, but he's nuts enough that you probably won't notice anything. That is your medical diagnosis of Zephyros' injury.
Like I said, he's just down for maintenance.
Ox would know a thing or two about that.
It's necessary from time to time.
So we just let him rest, I guess. Make sure no one else bothers us.
Basically.
Yeah, basically. Inks will keep an eye on him.
You can always try and wake the sleeping giant.
I assumed we already tried that and it hasn't worked yet, so he probably needs a little bit of rest.
Isn't that a metaphor for bad things happening?
Yes. Yes.
Do we really
That
want to
is
do that?
why I said it. Waking the sleeping giant is an expression for like
Oh yeah, I know.
something big and awful.
Not a specific quote, anyway.
Probably.
I think it's when they attacked America in World War II.
Maybe it's an older Japanese idiom, I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, you guys gonna stay awake? Watch your.
We'll have to set up a rotation so we can watch him and watch outside.
I'll go downstairs and watch outside.
All right.
Keep watch up here a bit.
Yeah, there's probably 6 or so hours left in the night.
I assume it'd probably be Richard and Ox downstairs and Inks and Adriel up here because medicine person. Or heals person.
This is true.
Heals person who can stay awake and heals person or
Yeah.
This should, in case he wakes up.
I was gonna say, you probably have more actual healing power than I do. I don't know, it's gonna be close.
I have 0 healing power, but
It's a bard.
oh right,
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
Richard
sorry.
does.
Yeah, she's a sorcerer.
Sorry.
Yeah,
She's got
Richard would know.
anti-healing.
We all got a bunch of that.
I can heal their hearts.
Well, if the injury is in his heart, I'm sure that they will let you know.
I don't know. How much fried food does he eat?
He's a giant. He subsists basically entirely off of meat of some form or another.
Well, yeah, but the question is how does he cook it?
You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I realize that would be confusing, but she's an entertainer, so that's where the music comes in.
Yeah.
Throws most of it in a pot with some spices and eats that.
Single people cooking, so only the stuff you can cook in one pot.
Yep, that's about right.
Sounds familiar.
Yep. But if you're keeping watch, so it's Adriel and Inks on Zephyros and Rich and Ox downstairs. The two of you who are downstairs, roll me perception checks, please. Damn. Okay. Rich, you actually neither of you see anything. There is nothing out there for tonight. Eventually, the wind begins to die down, so the tower stops shaking, which is nice, but nothing looks to be out there. The two of you up top, as the night goes on, Zephyros, his gibbering gets slightly quieter, and instead it's replaced by what sounds like snoring from giant-sized lungs.
This is technically an improvement.
Technically. Eventually, though, as the night fades, the dawn comes, and the sun rises on the horizon, Zephyros begins to stir. He has stopped gibbering, and he slowly sits up. What?
Goodness, darling, you're awake. Thank goodness. You gave us quite the start.
What has happened?
You fell, your lordship.
We just heard a fall from upstairs, and we came to look, and you were asleep, and we couldn't wake you. You'd hit your head.
And I was... And you took care of me.
Of course, why
We
wouldn't we?
closed the wound.
We're worried.
We could but close the wound and ensure that nothing else happens.
I see. What do you wish in return?
He's just kind of arches the brow at that.
I am a giant. I cannot be in debt to you.
Of course not. How about...
Would you be honest with us about what you've been doing?
You want truth.
Truth would be
Idril
wonderful.
just sort of gestures at the circle.
You've been creeping quite a bit from us, and apparently you've been injuring yourself because of it.
Oh, the injuring is new. It's been quite a long time since that's happened. Contacting, you wish the truth about the circle.
I simply wish the truth about what you've been hiding from us so much.
Oh, dearest little inks, there are many hidden things in this world. There simply is not time for me to explain them all. Not to mention that the truth is a very valuable thing. As much as I appreciate what you've done for me, there's only so much truth that will buy you.
Well, I'll have to see what else I can sell. Just smirks at him.
Why don't you begin with the circle itself? Who were you contacting?
That, last night, I'd attempted to get in contact with Yancy Bin, but that had failed, unfortunately. So, I reached out again in an attempt to contact the other giant lords. Unfortunately, contacting other planes is a risky endeavor. I happened upon something that apparently my mind could not handle. At the time I was attempting to contact Grimace's Shan, the current Prince of Elemental Air. That is what I was doing with the circle. It is a divination circle. It is meant to allow me to contact those on other planes and those great distances from myself. A way of keeping in touch with the world, if you will. There's only so many ways to do that when you live in a flying tower.
It would be quite useful, I can see that.
Indeed.
Have you spoken with Chen before?
A couple of times. Rarely favorably, but needs must, as they say.
Did Adriel mention before about the transmutation that she'd seen?
Yes, she would have brought that up. But not to Zephyros yet.
Not to Zephyros. Okay.
Inks would do so, though. Out of curiosity, if she only gets a simpler question.
Well, limited number of questions, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is. If you wish the story of that from me, that is a very long story. And
it is still several days to bring Shandar.
And the price for it a little bit higher than what you've already given me. What are you willing to trade for it? And he smiles and bends forward towards you.
How about some very good entertainment and possibly the best meal you've ever had?
Possibly.
I assume it could get boring cooking your own meals all the time.
Prestidigitation deals with that. I am a wizard. There are perks.
Oh, I know that quite well, but there's something to be said for using your own hands.
Will have to offer me a little bit better than entertainment and a good meal.
Well, then what would you suggest?
It is very quiet up here, much of the time. I would have somebody stay in a permanent position, so to speak. Fill the air with song and story.
Ah, so you're liking yourself a patron then?
I do not know what that is.
It's what those in my profession call one that seeks companionship.
I suppose.
Well, given that you are quite a genius, wealthy giant such as yourself, I could be persuaded. Of course, I do have my mission coming up, and dealing with the difficulties that others of your kind are causing may take a bit of precedent, but I'm sure afterwards I'd be quite willing to travel if you would have me.
Then you will hear that tale afterwards.
You strike quite a hard bargain. But I know what that's like.
Yes, I'm sure you do, little one. Have you any other questions. Besides my old shame. Old shame.
Not at this time, your lordship.
Old shame just can become new opportunities later. New truths.
Well,
New experiences.
this is true. I do, however, still owe you some truth, or something. If you wish truth from me, come with a question, and I will answer.
And I'll look forward to it. And she'll give a bow.
He will bow in return. I look forward to jousting with you again, sneaky one. He smiles semi-affectionately.
Ah, the pleasure is always mine.
Zephyros turns away from you, begins to tidy up the big blood stain on the floor by prestidigitating it.
Inks can help a bit with that.
Oh, no. I have this.
Very well.
Appreciate a little bit of time alone.
Hmm.
Settle my thoughts.
As long as you don't go doing anything that hurts yourself without letting us know. We are going to worry now, you know.
Oh, don't, you silly little children. I'll be fine.
I'm holding you to that.
He rolls his eyes. So, Adriel, Inks, do you want to fill in Rich and Ox on what's
Yes.
going on?
Yep.
Any thoughts, guys?
Big one is that now the elemental princes are getting involved in whatever's happening with the giants too.
Either that or it's something separate, but the idea the giants are causing chaos or give them the idea. I'm trying to remember what exactly we noticed that was not quite the truth. I'm trying to figure out what would be the most useful for us.
Things that he's been deflecting on?
Yeah.
Mostly what the cause of all this disturbance is, because I think he knows above and beyond like the all the lords disappeared. Like he has a theory as to why they did.
Yeah, that might be the big one. Hmm. I'm still hoping we might be able to just like get a little bit more or a little bit narrower focus by talking normally and seeing what else he deflects and kind of pinpointing
I'm
it.
in on it when we need it, yeah.
Mhm. But I guess we need more questions along that line that are normal conversation then. It's trying to figure out what else to bring up naturally. So I guess honestly, if we want to just go with it, then asking him what he thinks is causing all the trouble or getting his full insight on it is probably the best bet for figuring out what to do in the future.
Okay. Is that what you want to ask? Are you sure?
Oh, it's making me second guess myself here.
Kind of waiting for the other party to chime in too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. I'm not sure what else to ask him.
Like, if that's the biggest thing he seems to have been deflecting, it's probably a good bet. But
Current
I don't remember what else.
events and then the old shame thing, which we're not willing to pay that price.
Yeah, so we know it's not. So we're gonna get there.
I mean, the only other thing I can think of is asking him for some way to have some sort of advantage going to the frost giant thing, but
We already got as much information as we were going to get about how to deal with frost giants.
okay.
He gave that willingly.
Right. I mean, I figured. So
Even if he gave us like a thing that would help, I don't think it would really work too well. Unless we lied about where we got it. If we're gonna do that, we don't need the thing from him.
If that's the case, we can save, if that's our line of inquiry, we can save that for, like, after he has his alone time. And, like, if we all gather around for dinner or something like that. Because thinks we'll definitely at least try try a little inkling in with the best meal thing. Gotta stack up on the points.
All right. If you're gonna cook for him, you should probably get started. Because he's a fucking giant.
Yep. I think he needed some time alone anyway. Might as well start now.
Yeah, fair. Relix follows by your side as you prepare food. Occasionally, he meows at you, hoping for scrap.
She'll give it to him, but politely ask him to not flap around the food, just in case just in case there's a bit of hair. But
Fair enough.
if he agrees to that, she'll totally give him scraps.
He agrees. You swear that you see him nod his head.
Good boy, thank you.
But eventually, time passes. The smell of whatever you're making wafts up to Zephyros. This smells Excellent.
I just figured with what he's got, probably a stew would be best for everybody.
Most agreeable.
What did I tell you?
You were not wrong. Shall we begin?
But of course.
All right. You all eat. Are there any questions that y'all would like to ask Zephyros during dinner, or are you going to wait for afterwards?
Well, unless anyone had anything smaller to ask him beforehand. Inks would ask him about his thoughts on what's really going on with the giants, so that they know exactly what to deal with, as best as he can give it to them.
Is this the truth you're asking me for?
Any and all you can give us. It would be most beneficial to everyone, don't you think?
Indeed. Well, this will be your truth. Young children. I have told you in the past of the ordning, have I not?
So give a nod.
Of how...
Nod.
Sorry?
I was saying she gave a nod. I was a little behind on your.
I have told you, I believe specifically, that every giant, from the lowliest hill giants to the greatest of storm giants, is defined by the ordning, either in opposition to it or by it. I do not think what the problem is. I know. The problem, my dear little ones, is that the ordning has been broken.
Broken.
Any giant could tell you this. The ordning was established by the Allfather during the times of Astoria. He was unhappy with us. All giants felt his anger and felt as the ordning shattered around us. No giant knows their place now. We are lost, unsure of what to do, knowing only that the Allfather seeks for us to become great outside of the ordning. That he seeks for us to win his favor in some way. Unfortunately, he did not see fit to tell us what that way was. And Zephyros looks a little bit annoyed as he tells you this. So, everyone is going wild, trying to figure out what he wants, what the Allfather wants. But neither he nor his children will listen. And of course, in the midst of all this chaos, the most powerful giant on the planet, on all of Faerun, the Storm King, has gone missing. which, of course, has led to all of the giant attacks that you've seen. Everyone has their own ideas of how to earn favor in the eyes of Am. Nobody agrees. And so the giants fight. And that is what's happening with all of us. That is the information that that Lord Naboon thought he was so cunningly asking you to get from me.
Inks just completely smirks at that. I did know you were a genius.
It wasn't hard to figure out. Naboon's worried, same as all of you little people are.
Well, you can't really blame us, can you?
No. No, I can't.
But knowing at least gives us a sense of what we have to deal with. So thank you for that.
Ish. You're dealing with a host of mad giants.
It's better than nothing. A little bit to start.
Not changed.
We're always dealing with a mad world. But figuring out a little piece of it always helps. At least it can't hurt.
True. True. I thank you for the meal. I will go upstairs again, if you don't mind.
She would polite nod at that. Thank you.
Good evening, young ones.
Good evening, Lord Zephyrs.
Back upstairs.
Well, I can't say I'm not surprised, but I also can't say I'm very surprised, can you? So not only are all the giants confused as to what the hell they're supposed to be doing, they also don't have their normal leader. Or at least from the old times. That could cause a bit of problems, couldn't it?
Brand new world. Everybody's trying to figure out who comes out on top.
That sounds like bringing a little bit of order with the Storm King would be the closest we could start with, unless someone can talk to their god. She's using the term god loosely.
Is an actual god, just for the record.
Huh, okay.
I think he's actually like a greater deity.
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah, he's
Okay, then not using the term loosely.
yeah, he's an actual god. Like when they say that they can feel being angry, that all the giants can feel. When he says that, he means that quite literally.
So doesn't like what they were doing, so they all decided to do something different.
Yeah,
Helpful.
basically.
Try everything and hope something sticks.
Basically.
Yeah, unfortunately, where are the things getting thrown?
Yeah. All they know is that is unhappy with what the Giants have been doing. He thinks that they've grown complacent, so he's trying to shake it up. Too, apparently desires a return to the old days when giants ruled the earth. Or when giants ruled Faerun.
Gods with the god complex. It's always difficult, isn't it?
Is it really a god complex when you're an actual god?
It's a god simplex.
Plus, I mean, he's a god. He'd be an awfully shitty god if he didn't want a better life for his people.
There's better life, and then there's the same life, but with a little less under people.
I mean, a lot of under people would rather have the same life, but with a lot less giant people.
Mostly because they're killing each other. That would be the thing.
Yeah.
But they stopped that. It'd really much work for everybody.
Nobody likes getting squished.
Except the asshats.
With the asshats.
I mean, nobody. The ones that want to kill each other just to kill each other.
Oh. Yeah, glossing right over that.
The racists.
Glossing right over the rest of that plot. Any other opinions, stuff y'all wanted to try? Anything like that?
Not really. Maybe try and play with the griffin again,
With the griffin?
if possible.
Okay.
Adriel wants a griffin friend.
Who doesn't?
That's fair.
Not entirely what I was expecting, but that's fair. All right. Yeah, you
Like,
can.
did you get any divine sense from your god about how to deal with other gods?
Not. She wouldn't even think to ask because that's so out of her league, and she's not in that kind of direct contact. Keep in mind, she's not a cleric either, or a warlock.
Yeah. Plus, this Bahamut, dragon god, dragons and giants.
No, Bahamut probably
See, they
does
just got
not
along.
like what the giants are doing, and that's about as detailed an answer as I'm going to get.
I mean, to be fair, he probably doesn't like anything the giants are doing.
Well, the whole breathing thing bothers him, so.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you can totally call at one of the griffins and it'll come down, squawk at you some more. Anything in particular you wanted to do with it?
Basically, eat it again.
Okay. It will
Try and get it used to my presence.
It will happily it will happily eat whatever food you give it and relax around you. Yeah.
Okay. It's a big fluffy kitty.
Oh, Adriel made a friend.
The back half, quite literally so.
Just gonna let that one go.
No. Don't do that. That's no fun.
You got to hold on and ride it to the top.
You want to ride all the way up to the top of the...
No.
All right. If there's
Like Slim Pickens ran an atom bomb into the ground.
If there's nothing else that anybody wants to do, is there anything else anybody wants to do?
Guess besides keep an eye out every so often what's going on outside and where we are. If there's anything we can see, or if it's just cloud cover.
Okay. For now, it's still just cloud cover. You started moving again a little bit after you left Zephyros alone. So there's you're moving at least. Yeah. Besides that, you'd probably be traveling over. Where are you guys right now? Oh, actually, yeah, you'd probably be traveling over a lot of forest right about now. You're entering the edge of Neverwinter Wood. Ahead of you, a long way in the distance, you can see the beginning of some mountains. But for now, it's mostly forest below you. If there's nothing else, though, I need a watch order for the night. I know Ox is going to be staying awake basically the whole time, but who else wants to stay up with him and when?
Figure we should probably have one person who doesn't sleep and one person who does together, and then trade off.
That would require a very long period for sleeping now. But Adriel only trances, so she's still aware of her surroundings when that happens. But most likely she'd do that either in the middle of the night or in the second half of the night.
Okay. Yeah, Rich does the same, I guess. So, Rich, everybody but Inks, really. Inks has to sleep. Everybody but Inks, roll me a perception check, please, for the evening. Alright. Give me 1 sec real quick. I have to find something. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, cool.
Oh boy.
Wow. Okay. Good job, Clarion. I guess you're living up to your name.
Do we find a sneaky trumpeter?
I mean, trumpeter is a relative term. So,
Sounds like something big for a Clarion.
yeah. So, in the middle of the night.
Oh, it's that goddamn dragon, isn't it?
Yeah, so in the middle of the night, you hear the sound of very large, very loud wings flapping outside of the tower, and you hear a little bit of a roar
So much more beauty sleep.
because Clarion sucks at stealth, apparently. And if you look out the window, you will see an adult silver dragon.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Yep. Carrying.
To be fair, it's not like a dragon often needs to practice stealth.
This is true.
Well, I'm awake. Because roar.
You hear some muttering in Dwarven from his back. Yeah, I guess.
Oh, that's friends.
I guess Adriel doesn't technically hear it because he has a 5. She has a 5.
I mean, it wasn't a meow, so I don't understand how she could understand it.
If I'm awake, can I make a perception now?
Yeah, so there's this dragon. The dwarves that were riding on its back. Yeah, Inks, you don't hear anything.
There was a roar, and that was it.
Kind of roll over in your sleep, mumble a bit.
So Ox and Rich, you both notice the giant dragon that's landing on the side of the tower, but nobody else does. As you watch the dwarves that it's carrying each pull out potions, drink them, and assume a gaseous form and float into the tower.
So, Ox, we should probably tell them about that.
Probably.
The dragon flies up towards the top of the tower as this happens.
Okay, now I get to wake up. Please tell me you're waking us up.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there are 6 dwarves. Most are in some transitional state between solid and gas right now. They are all wearing armor and carrying weapons.
Do they look like they're a member of some particular faction? And they're wearing?
They all do have an insignia on them. They're from, yeah, that's where they're from.
Yeah, anything we'd recognize from dealing with, I don't know, Lord's Alliance or any...
They are not from the Lord's Alliance. Yeah, you probably recognize it. They're a big enough city. They are, in fact, from Gauntlgrim, which is a large dwarven city in the north.
Oh.
Which, actually, you guys passed through last adventure.
They're from the Underdark?
No. Gauntlgrim.
The surface version. The surface dwarf city we were in.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just remember Gauntlgrim as the... Yeah.
No, Gauntlgrim was your entry point to the Underdark.
No, this is the surface version of Gauntlgrim.
Okay.
Right.
What in the world is this about?
Stand up, grab a weapon. What's all this then?
What are you all? Who are you all? What are you doing here?
We're guests of the giant.
What do you mean?
What are you doing here?
You can't be guests of a giant.
To be fair, we're guests of the... I could say the giant is being our escort from Lord Naboo of the Lord's Alliance. Now, what are you doing here?
We're here to deal with a giant.
Well, this giant has no ill will towards you, and you should have no ill will towards it. So please do not make a fuss.
He's a giant. No matter what he does, he is going to harm people. We are here to strip him of that capacity.
This one has no propensity towards destroying any of you.
Really?
He's simply doing a
You have
task that
evidence
Lord
to the
Naboo
contrary?
wished of him in exchange for...
Have you seen what's going on in the world lately? Have you seen the giant attacks that are occurring?
Oh, we have seen quite a lot, but we also have learned quite a lot from this one. And he is
Meanwhile,
helping
she's
us
gonna
deal
nod.
with the others.
I see. So, because the giants in general are attacking, and this giant could attack, we must harm him, yes?
Yeah. That's what
I see. And this logic should be applied elsewhere as well, yes?
to anything that's awful like giants are.
I see. This makes perfect sense. Thank you.
I think these dwarfs are coming right at us, Socks.
And
Honestly,
yes,
we
after saying
don't
that,
need
I
for
would
this.
have punched one of them right in the face.
Oh, you're gonna punch one of them in the face. Okay.
Alex,
Okay.
honestly, can't we talk first? They seem to at least be...
I think we just
They're
did.
foolish, but... They're foolish, but I still want to know who they come from.
We can talk afterwards.
You need to not punch them to death for that to be the case.
I didn't say I was going to punch him to death. I just said I was going to punch him in the face.
I imagine them having this argument, and the dwarves are like, "What the hell's going on?"
What are you doing? Why are you stopping us?
I do not
Because your
understand.
actions are not justified.
I am harming one who would harm others. Is this not what you said was correct?
Prove it. Prove that we are not justified in killing him.
You haven't offered any justification. You are the one making a positive claim.
He hasn't harmed us or anyone that we know of, or you. So, therefore, you coming to kill him seems like you're the aggressor in this case, don't you think?
You use too many big words. Use shorter ones. You're confusing me.
Very well, how about this? You have come to stab him. He has not stabbed you. He has not stabbed us. We have not seen him stab anyone or throw rocks at them. Therefore, you seem to be mean ones.
Wait, I believe I can explain to them in terms they'll understand. Meow. Meow, meow.
Miss, I think your automaton is broken.
Oh no, he just does that sometimes. It's a bit eccentric, yes. But honestly, can't we just talk this out? I really don't want to be fighting anyone. We simply need to get to Bryn Shandar.
What are you going? The giant's taking you to Brian Shander?
That would be the case,
That
yes.
was our
That is
deal.
our mission from Lord Naboo.
You're with the Lord's Alliance?
I did try to say that at the beginning.
Obviously.
No, not obviously. Why are Lord's Alliance people traveling with giants?
Because this giant is helping.
Roll persuasion. Really, anybody who's been talking to them.
How about, oh yeah, there we go.
Oh, that'll do.
Can I roll animal handling for the meowing?
I can even double that.
Yes, you may roll.
I was just
There we
joking.
go.
It's respectable animal handling.
Okay. Okay.
It was a pretty good meow.
The dwarf nearest Ox thing says, okay. I think I'm picking up that he doesn't like us. Is anybody else getting that feeling here, or is it just me? A couple of dwarves.
He's a regular.
But for the rest of them, if you're with the Lord's Alliance, Oh, for one, if you're with the Lord's Alliance and we killed him, we'd be in big trouble. That would be bad.
Mm-hmm.
That is certainly the case, yes.
Thank you for stopping us from doing this, nice Mrs. and robot.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm glad you can understand.
We done goofed, guys.
Yes, but at least you seem to be making it right, and I do appreciate that. But if you'd be so kind as to not be so loud in the night and wake up our dear friend upstairs, we would very much appreciate it.
I think Clarion was planning on doing that already. I'm surprised he hasn't already.
Yeah, I was going to say, there aren't like limbs flailing down through the hole or anything, so
Yeah.
you hear an explosion.
We look up.
Around them, you hear Zephyros shout, "Clarion!"
Oh, goodness.
With respect to his lordship, I believe this is something that he would not want us to interfere with.
But I'm sure they need to get back down, so we should probably deal with it. Would you possibly be able to call your dragon friend, I assume? I'm sure we can talk this all out.
A dragon, yes. He is a very large dragon. Clarion! Clarion, help! We done goofed!
Inks will call up in Draconic. Pardon me, Lord Clarion, that is your name, correct? Could we simply talk this out? I'm sure there's been quite a big misunderstanding here.
You hear the flapping of wings and a shake. And shortly thereafter, the dragon pokes his head through one of the holes. Well, so he's an adult silver dragon.
Yeah.
Inks will immediately curtsy. Oh, goodness, being blessed with the sight of 2 silver dragons in my life. How blessed I am. However, I'm certain there must be some misunderstanding here. We don't wish to cause any trouble back and forth, but could you please not interfere with our friend here? Lord of this castle causes you no harm.
The dragon kind of ignores you and addresses the dwarves in Dwarvish. I don't actually know. Does anybody speak Dwarvish?
Not me.
No.
No.
Nope.
Damn, that's new. Yeah, he addresses the dwarves in Dwarvish. The dwarves frantically shout back at him what's probably something along the lines of, "We done goofed." And Clarion grunts, looks kind of unhappy, but extends his neck to the dwarves, and they begin climbing aboard. "You haven't seen the last of us, foul giant! We will be back to steal your orb, like the heroes of old."
Lord's Alliance, remember, try not to irritate a friend, please.
And after shouting, because they're dwarves, not only are they dwarves, they're young dwarves, and they have to have the last word. So they fly off immediately after yelling that.
Well, either way, Inks will give a little Queen Elizabeth wave. Like, see you again when you're in a better mood.
They shout something that sounds very unkind back at you in Dwarvish.
Some people just don't understand simple courtesy. Oh, you're right, Zephyros. We're sorry, the simpletons have been escorted out.
Bloody right they have. Dwarves. I hate dwarves. Always breaking in, trying to steal the damn orb. Zephyros devolves into what sounds like muttering from down there.
Well, at least these ones saw the error of their ways. That's a step up.
Dwarves trying to steal shiny things? Who would have thought? I suppose. Go back to sleep. I'm going to try and increase the speed on the tower. Get you to Brian Shander faster.
Understood.
Very
Please
well, Your
don't push
Lordship.
yourself too hard. Good night.
Won't be me pushing, it'll be the tower. Ever since you've been around, there have been many more people than usual finding this tower. I'd prefer it if I could get back to my normal seclusion.
I understand.
Sleep well, Your Lordship.
Scheiße. He mutters a couple of giant swear words that you recognize from his lessons at you. So, coming in on end of session, I'm going to... Is there anything people would like to do? Any other questions people want to ask Zephyros, or things that they'd like to do with him, or anything of that nature? Basically, anything involving Zephyros or the tower.
Nothing specific comes to mind for me.
Besides the usual, stay in good favor as best as possible.
Of course. I would expect nothing less. Yeah, you don't have too much trouble doing that. I mean, Zephyros is always happy to have you to listen to your music or just have you talk. But if there's nothing else that people would like to do, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward the next week or so. Anything?
I wish I could think of something specific, but I can't at the moment.
No.
Not enough caffeine.
Try the fireball, it works better.
Oh no, the pain. Tastes like burning.
It tastes great. It's like cinnamon heart.
I don't like
Both of
cinnamon, I
you
don't
are
like alcohol burn.
It tastes great and it tastes like burning at the same time.
I guess.
Can't handle spicy.
All right. But if there's nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and kind of fast forward the next week of travel on the cloud tower. As you watch the terrain below you go by, the forest eventually gives way into prairie, which eventually gives way into snowy tundra as you get closer and closer to Brian Shander. Zephyros remains much as he has been. There are occasional flashes of temper, but mostly he remains cheery. He remains like a cheery old man.
Something must be wrong.
That's the spirit. Eventually, however, your ride with him comes to an end. He slows to a stop about 10 miles out from Brine Shander. This is about as far as I will take. Any closer and I'm too close to the day.
Given what's been happening, I do not blame you at all.
I have been writing these last few days. I've made sure to do so in a book that is carryable by all of you. And he reaches into a pocket and pulls out a book and hands it to Adriel.
Yeah.
This contains all I know so far about the shattering of the ordning, about the whereabouts of the other giants, chief of the other giants, and about the current situation of chaos. If you have questions, seek them in there. Young Paladin, I hope to meet you again. In better times, perhaps.
I give him a bow. I thank you, your lordship. I hope to do business with you again in the future.
The feeling is mutual, particularly for a disciple of the dragon god. You have been gracious, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Bow again.
Little Lynx, little Lynx, little Lynx.
Darling.
You are quite the sneaky one, aren't you?
Well, every girl needs a bit of a mystery as a lure, don't you think?
Quite a snake you are. Quite a snake.
Hopefully in a good way.
I suppose. All snakes must shed their skin eventually, though. I look forward to seeing the result. He winks.
Those apps work at that. I'm sorry that we caused you such trouble over this time, but it's been very pleasant and I appreciate it.
Likewise. Ox. You don't seem to understand people very well, do you?
I'm trying to think how to respond to that.
Just meow.
But she's not the one who sparked Cat. Can anyone really understand another person?
Perhaps you understand more than you think, than I thought. Find me again someday, Ox. I wish you luck on your search.
And you as well.
Richard, you said your name was? I sense in you something of a kindred spirit when it comes to the delights of the material world. so to speak. I merely wish to say good luck on your search, my friend. He holds out a finger towards you, Rich.
I pull it.
Really, you're gonna pull the cloud giant's finger?
I mean, I don't know why else he would be holding out a finger to me.
Probably because you can't shake his hand. But
Then yes, I would shake his finger.
okay. Otherwise, I was gonna have him cast Noxious Cloud. If you know what I mean. Good luck. Now I should be off. I have my own searches to attend to after all.
Completely understood. But remember, once things have calmed down, if you're still in need of a companion, feel free to look me up. I'm sure a regular plain messaging spell is a little bit easier than that other planner spell. But I'll look forward to hearing the long story.
Oh, it is quite the story. I'll look forward to having someone to tell it to. Fare thee well, adventurers. Until we meet again. He smiles and retreats up into the tower.
Thanks to give
The
away from Watch
tower
and Go.
slowly begins to pull away. From your map, you know that Brine Shander is about 10 miles to the north of you. But I think this is where we're going to end for the night.
All right.
Yeah. So, kind of had a question for you all. We've had a lot more. It's been a lot more role play and such these last couple sessions than combat and/or exploration. Thoughts, feelings. We're gonna get into balancing it out a little bit more in the next couple of sessions, I promise you. But thoughts, feelings on that.
I think it was fun. It was good, kind of, since we all started basically, supposedly, these characters knowing each other, it was kind of good to get a feel for that in character.
Yeah. No, it's good.
I mean, we learned so many things about each other's characters today.
Yeah.
I learned that Adriel's part cat.
Yes, he is. She. Shit. Yeah, no, that's fair, Rich. That is fair. We're gonna get a little bit more into your skill set. I promise. Also fair. Also fair. The other thing I wanted to ask was, I don't actually remember who got nominated last time, and I don't have it written down for whatever reason.
I think it was me.
Okay. Nominations?
Oh man. Does Ox not have a thing? Because I'd have to go with Ox for the meowing.
Fair enough.
Otherwise it's Adriel, but I think you still have a thing for that. But if I'm wrong, it would totally be Adriel.
I've already got an inspiration.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
And if Adriel doesn't, yeah, totally.
I did not. I think that should be all of us have it now. I don't think anybody's used it. Haven't had any life or death rolls yet.
Yeah, no. All of you have been nominated, and I don't think anybody's used it. So, congratulations, I guess. You all have.
Huzzah.
You've managed to game the system.
Mwahaha.
I'm so proud of you all.
But it still worked. Like, it was still for its reasoning.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It is fair. I'm not the same.
All right then.
Yeah.
We're planning on meeting again next week.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, we are.
Cool. Yeah, that's been fun.
Monday,
I love this group. this is a fun team.
This is a fun game.
You know.
I just want a better flying cat.
You want a better flying cat?
Yeah.
Don't be a flying dog.
He's already like the smartest and wisest person in the entire group.
What he's saying is no. He wants a dumb giant flying cat.
I'm going to dispute the wisest.
Ox probably is wiser. You're right. You're right.
I think I may be wiser than the cat to it, at the very least.
It has 12 wisdom.
We're at least
Wiser
even.
than I.
I didn't say
It's
smarter.
sad when the guy who thinks that an elf is a cat is the wisest in the group.
I'm pretty sure that's intelligence, not wisdom.
I'm also pretty sure I'm the most intelligent part of the cat.
Do you have 10 intelligence?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, well, so do I.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm tied for smartest part of the cat.
Everybody but Adriel has 10 intelligence. The cat's smarter than all of you.
So clearly we should just have the cat be the party leader. That's what I'm hearing.
I see no way in which that can go wrong.
I mean, we could never possibly come up with a good enough reason to convince it otherwise.
Yeah. I like this cat. I enjoy playing.
All right. Good night,
Fun
everybody.
cat.
All right, yeah, good night,
Right.
guys.
That's it.
No, you know.